So, good morning. I'm going to stand with the permission of the panel. I think we have about 45 minutes. So, we're going to have 3 rounds. One is an opening round where a kind of a warm-up question, and we have something illuminating, which I think all 4 of them will share with us, something tangible, so that instead of having a sort of abstract notion of what sustainability is, we'll have something tangible. Then we have a second round of generic questions which are specific to their operations. And third is something which has now become the norm in all such forums, which is a rapid fire, quick sort of set of questions. Before I begin, this just to sort of give some context to this conversation that we are going to have, this is probably the 7th such panel which I am in a way moderating, hosting in the past few weeks. And the common theme in all of this is sustainability. And for me, what's very interesting is it's groups of people who are having this conversation who don't seem to be having a conversation with each other. So you have machine manufacturers having a set of conversations about sustainability. You have material manufacturers, you have brands, you have packaging designers, and sometimes you have the converters. We also recently did a survey with the Gen Z, and which is about 50 odd of them, and then we realized that a whole different set of conversations emerging from that sort of tribe. Again, just for context, 3 things which one is hoping to sort of ensure that we have a takeaway at the end of it is, what Dr. Saha alluded to, the 3 R's. Reuse, reduce, recycle, very familiar mantra. But what seems to happen at every forum is that there are disagreements about what to prioritize and in what manner to prioritize. So that's one of the sort of things that keep emerging. The second thing, which is sort of the crux of the matter, as it were, is the balance sheet. And when sort of recycled resin is more expensive than virgin resin, how do you sort of manage the whole value chain in that sense? And basically circularity does not offer a value proposition. And this is a burning issue across all the forums that we have. And then finally, I think it's divisive definitions. That one set of tech jargon means something in a particular forum, and it means something totally different or diametrically opposite in another set of forum. And again, the role of education that, platforms such as these help in creating. So that's broadly the context. I'm going to start off with round 1 straight away because I'm told that, we have only 45 minutes. So everyone says, that sustainability is a value differentiator today. Last 2 years particularly, it's been a kind of the go-to mantra. So first question, what have you all been doing? We'll start off from there. And what have you been doing in the last 12 months since we are at the end of 2024? And specifically from a sustainability point of view. One is as an organization and more importantly, the kind of product range that you're handling.
Sure. So, hi everyone, and thank you, Ramu sir, for this amazing introduction. I'm really glad to be here. From a Kenview standpoint, I feel when we talk about sustainable packaging, it's more about putting people first and creating packaging experiences which will inspire our consumers to experience this change and also play a vital role in building this system. Now, when I say this, early on we learned that in this journey, we want to get the consumers with us. And it is by co-creating and prototyping concepts, what they need for their products. So what do I mean by this is, say for example, I have a Neutrogena jar, right? This is a Neutrogena jar. So basically in a normal ideal scenario back until 2022 or 2023, we used to have this sold every now and then. But with all of the rules coming in, with our Healthy Lives mission commitments, we said that we need to bring out something that the consumers want to experience and what Kenview can do to deliver those experiences. So we've introduced a refill pod for this. So what necessarily happens is the consumers simply have to remove this pod.
Yeah, Abhishek, you can help her hold the mic so that she can talk. Yeah, thank you.
So, what the consumer would do is they essentially like this outer packaging and they can just replace this inner pod and refill it with their product, right? Once they empty it in the beginning. So, I think such kind of experiences are something even the consumers are looking for, and we as a company are trying to deliver on them. So, we truly believe and we actively listen to our consumers. What do they want and what are their preferences,
Sure.
and that drives our sustainable packaging innovation. Another one, like you said, PCR, like recycled content, is something that is taking a lot of light, and we have it into our products. Like if you see this Aveeno bottle here, this has a 30% PCR. This particular Clean and Clear has a 20% PCR into it. So these kind of products now, if we have to talk about how consumers perceive it, definitely it is the brand communication that we need to work on, wherein we deliver the communication in a way that the consumer experience is also walked through, and also the efficacies of the product, so that there's in store for sustainability and the consumer experience.
Sure.
I think I'll pass it
There,
on.
yeah. Thank you, Geetal. Thank you. Yeah. Over to you, Abhishek.
yeah,
Firstly,
thank you.
thank you for this big trip you've made from Gurgaon and come all the way to Mumbai. So thank you.
Thank you, Ramu, and thank you, Packnext, for having me here. And I'm not here to promote the products of my company. It's just that to make the discussion more meaningful, I wanted to show something which is more tangible. So there have been, we are a rice company, and we used to export our rice majorly into multi-layered poly pouches, which were having non-recyclable components in it. But now we have developed these kind of bags. These are monolayer homogeneous structured bags, which are completely recyclable, and these bags are also reusable bags also. Apart from that, these bags have strength and durability. So and when we compare it to the cost of a laminated pouch, these bags are much more economical in that terms. Also, we have tried to use the natural occurring fibers which are available in India, jute being the second most natural occurring fiber produced in our country. So we have used that jute fabrics, which not only has strength and durability, but it is present in abundance in the country. So we can use all those fibers. So we've used it, and it also impacts the moisture requirements for the product itself. Then there are certain homogeneous structures that we guys have created. These are PE based laminates. I'm sorry I couldn't get the, I'm sorry I couldn't get the whole packs because these are big packs.
No, this is very helpful, very helpful.
But these are monolayer material, homogeneous PE, MDO based structures. Then there are certain packs which are available in the market today. These packs are majorly polyolefinic structures. So these are BOPP and PE-based laminates. These we are using in domestic and export markets today. Right. Thank you, and I think because of paucity of time, I will go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Very helpful. What we'll also do is just try to understand from all three of you, Sanjay, Abhishek, and Geetal, that what's the role your packaging partner in a way played in this, and what was the sort of scope for development that we have? Because I think that's what a lot of us in the room would be keen to understand. Yeah. Thank you. Sanjay?
Sure. So thank you very much, and good morning to all of you. Thank you, Ramu, for agreeing to moderate this session, and welcome everybody to this session. We've already heard from Geetal and Abhishek. To kind of continue from there, the inspiration comes from eventually for a business from the concept of triple bottom line, which is people, planet, and profit. And also, it's got very clear linkage to the Sustainable Development Goals, which the UN have set for all of us, and with special focus on the 12th goal, which I think someone before us talked about, which is responsible consumption and production, right? So with that, all those things in mind, with triple bottom line, with UN's SDG, and the overall, philosophy of responsible consumption, which Dr. Saha talked about, in view, there are a couple of things which Diageo did. Now, unfortunately, unlike them, I could not carry those samples. I'm not allowed to carry alcohol in a session like this. But I can give you some examples you can visualize, and maybe after this session you can go and check on the internet. Few things we did is that we launched India's first 100% RBT bottle for one of our products.
Yeah.
In fact, we were the pioneers to launch it in the market in the alcobev industry. Immediately after the FSSAI clearance of use of recycled plastic in food contact. And we feel that it's a great differentiator because we have learned a lot of lessons from what people like Coca-Cola, PepsiCo have done with 100% RPT. We have our partners here, Go Revise is here somewhere in the, in the audience and as an exhibitor as well. They are a partner and they have really gone that extra mile to help us with the right grade of material and ensure that we could launch it in time and continue to commercialize it and scale it up. So that's one example I wanted to share, that the pioneering effort of 100% a PET bottle with 100% RPET, and that wouldn't have been possible without this high quality recyclers, recycled material manufacturer that we had with us as our partners. That's one. The second example is there's a brand called Johnnie Walker Blue Label. Many of you must have consumed, seen, heard of it. It's one of the relatively more premium offerings from Diageo globally. So what we have done is, it is to come in a 850 grams bottle. And typically Johnnie Walker people who are consumer of Johnnie Walker would know that Johnnie Walker bottles follow a certain design language across Johnnie Walker, red label, black label, green label, gold label, platinum, blue, and so on and so forth.
True.
Right? So what we have done is, with repeated consumer engagements and without impacting the consumer experience of using something which has been there for last so many years, we went ahead and launched a glass bottle which made a transformation of 850 grams for a 700 ml bottle to 180 grams for a 700 ml bottle, which is currently the world's lightest whiskey bottle. Right? And there again, the engineering partners, because it went through a lot of engineering tooling in terms of FEAs, in terms of mold flow analysis, in terms of computational fluid dynamics, to eventually get to a bottle which is just 180 ml, 180 grams for 700 ml. So these are the two things which I am personally really proud about, which addresses the whole philosophy of responsible consumption and giving back to consumer without taking away anything from the overall consumer value proposition in terms of similar or better experience with less packaging.
Got it. Just before we come to Riddhi, just a quick follow-up. What's been the feedback from the alcobev consumer and the sector? Because it's a fussy kind of a segment.
Right. So that was one of the main concerns we had, that how would consumers respond. Now I would give another example. I have my old colleague here from Pernod. He would vouch for it. In fact, we both went together to remove mono cartons from the alcobev industry. It's one of the
burning issues.
Again, burning issues. But we thought that there would be a lot of resistance from the consumers and the trade. So we were going slow. It took us a lot of time to decide that. But we realized that although we have always said that India is a country which is not yet ready to appreciate changes due to sustainable moves, but in this case we found extremely positive to neutral responses from consumers and trade when mono carton was removed from alcobev industry, at least between Diageo and Pernod Ricard. which is a large part of the industry.
Fairly sizable.
So I think it's also a great appreciation goes to the consumer for their understanding of the need of the hour and the changing levers of or the changing markers of aspiration for what a packaging can deliver.
Right. So in retrospect, a sort of good strategy in terms of eliminating monocartons in a way.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
It's played out well. Yeah,
Absolutely,
fair enough,
yeah.
fair enough. Riddhi?
Thank you, Rama
Yes,
sir.
yes.
Good
I
morning,
know
all.
you're coming from a sort of super specialized pharma segment, yeah, and there probably will not be a lot of product iteration,
Yes.
but still if you can share what you're
Yeah.
doing in terms of,
Yeah, being in pharma industry, we have a lot of challenges of regulatory bodies to
Yes.
change our traditional packaging into sustainable packaging. So we can take a step ahead to achieve the sustainability more with the design optimization, then the innovation in packaging, reducing the minimalistic packaging steps, and by optimizing the innovative ideas. And I would thanks to Geeta to take this sample along with her of Neutrogena, which I think it's a sustainability part is the reusability of the package, which is always give a second chance to the package to use for the consumer. So that is the one step we are taking for the sustainability point of time.
Sure.
Thank you.
Helpful, helpful. Geetal, you shared with us, a bunch of very, very interesting sort of samples. And we have two mics. One set can be there. So in terms of brand differentiation, has this in a way added any sort of points, brownie points to the product? And also what happens in terms of modifying forms, dispensing, pack sizes? What kind of strategies do you have internally when you're improving the packaging? And as I was sort of alluding to earlier, that what is the kind of conversations you're having at the back end? Because I mean, this is the magic that you create, which is probably 6 months, but what is the magician actually doing behind the scene? Yeah.
So, like I said before, more than anything else, we want to keep the consumer experience first.
Yep.
So even at the back end, the packaging innovations that we think through are benefit-led. We always think through what are the consumer preferences, what is the consumer behavior that we are getting into it, and how do we do it at the back end is by collaborating with our cross-functional R&D folks, so that, whatever product experience we are giving out, it is a total product experience that we deliver. And so, like you rightly pointed out, for this Hydro Boost thing, definitely refillable was something that came out naturally. But when we have to look at a total product innovation from a packaging perspective, it goes through the screening process of whether we need to do a recyclable, whether we need to do a recoverable, refillable, or reusable. One another example I want to give, wherein the team has recently launched in other markets, is the OGX example, wherein we've improved on the design. Now this improved design gives a better consumer experience with better material efficiency in order to dispense easily and also to evacuate the formulation easily. Now this particular OGX example is kind of the platform for all the other brands in Kenvue to fulfill the Healthy Lives mission commitments that we have, right? And it delivers on those commitments wherein that particular package is using up to 100% of recycled content into it, and also the complete package is recyclable. So, these kind of innovations, packaging innovations, wherein we are keeping consumer at the forefront and also keeping the packaging innovation and R&D at the forefront, is an amalgamation wherein you bring out the total experience.
Right.
I hope that answers
No,
the
no,
question.
absolutely, absolutely. Abhishek, just quickly, I mean, there are two things that emerged so far. One is somewhere this replacement of plastic as a kind, trying to find alternative materials to that. I also know that there's substantial amount of work that you're doing on the digital technology in terms of linking your, so again, if you can throw some light, because it's an interesting product range that you have, mass consumption, lots and lots of housewives, etc. So one is, what is the sort of strategy level that you have for digital technology, and how do you integrate the packaging, especially when you're talking to end consumers?
When we talk about, since you've asked about digital technology, first thing that I would like to ask audience here, how many of us are using AI in our daily life? maybe AI tools like ChatGPT or Google Gemini. Can I just have a hand raise? Oh, I think all of them, especially from packaging fraternity to see an audience like this.
Yep.
It ensures that we're gonna have a very smart packaging upcoming very soon because most of them are already using AI in their personal lives.
Yep.
Right? If I talk about leveraging digital technology into packaging, then it gives it enhances the functionality of the package. It also improves the ease of use and gives user experience to the consumer. It also promotes sustainability and fosters circularity. Apart from it, it also encourages consumer awareness. Right. So when I talk about the functionality, improving the functionality through a package, see, it is expected from a package not to just deliver as a container, but also to add value to the product. So today there are a lot of smart packaging options that are available, like IoT-based sensor devices, which are available, which get embedded into the pack itself. These sensors not only trace the product features, they also track the storage conditions like humidity and temperature.
Got it.
And also track the freshness of a product. We at LT Foods also used this IoT because we were getting a lot of infestation complaints during the ocean freight. Because there is a very drastic temperature that happens during the ocean transit. So we were using these to to check the temperature and humidity and gather that data into corrective actions.
Got it.
And manage their infestation. When we talk about technology, how can we forget about using interactive packaging? When we talk about interactive packaging, QR code is the first thing that comes to mind because most of the companies today are using QR code technology.
Yeah. All four of you have it integrated, QR?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it's a
most of
mandatory.
everybody,
Yeah.
all
So
the
mainly
companies are-
for backward traceability, right? Yeah.
No, for the further also.
Right.
So just to communicate with your consumer
Right.
And enhance his experience, we can also educate consumer about how to recycle the pack through
Yep.
QR code. We can also promote the reusability of that pack through QR code. We guys can also tell the consumer about the carbon CO2 emission that has been generated throughout the life cycle of that product. Since we are talking about interactive packaging, how can we guys forget about augmented reality?
Yeah.
Most of the companies today are using augmented reality through their packaging to create campaigns. And
Yep.
we also did a very big campaign on World Biryani Day.
Okay.
We guys did a campaign whereby we promoted our biryani pack through our packaging. So the consumer has to just scan the pack, click his picture and post that picture, and then he will be taken to a augmented reality world where he will be seen in a kitchen setup cooking along with Chef Sanjeev Kapoor and creating a biryani out of it.
Nice.
Right. So that is how we used our packaging to create a AR feature. One more thing when we are talking about interactive packaging and technology here is there are how about voice enabled QR code? This is a little futuristic approach, but yes, in a multilingual country like India, how about the product description comes to the consumer in a way that he can, in his regional language, and he can easily go and see the cooking instruction through a voice QR code. Similarly, we can use digital labels which can translate the language into a regional language.
Nice.
Right. So these are futuristic approach, but yes, these can happen very well.
Yep. Yep.
Also, if I talk about digital technology, it is enabling the sustainability by giving us better designs. It is enabling sustainability by creating consumer awareness. So if I talk about better designs, we guys are using 3D simulation tools right now. There are many of softwares which are available in the market. And these tools not only help you check the reliability and durability, before creating the prototype also.
Got it.
So at the design phase, you can create a good design, and also there are AI generative softwares. One of them we are also using
Sure.
to create the material specifications in down gauging and optimizing our material specifications.
Sure.
Right. If I talk about technology, it is also giving us a circular loop whereby a lot of IoT devices are there. So we created a smart recyclable dispensing machine whereby you can just go. It's a sensor-based IoT-based machine, and we have placed them on many RWAs now. You
Okay.
can just go, select whichever rice you want. The machine will dispense it out. You just have to take a container, and to start it, currently we have placed the jute bags there.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are promoting reusability through it. We have also created an app to track our consumers who are doing recyclability, and we are also incentivize them by by giving them promotions on their next purchase.
Got it.
That's
Got
it.
That's quite a lot. That's a lot. Yeah. Just curious again for all four of you, is it possible, because it's, sustainability and we are looking at recycling and also recollection of everything, but having something like a digital passport, which tracks the material, especially all that you shared, and then of course getting it back. You've of course eliminated that with mono cartons, but yeah, is there any other thing that's like a digital product passport from inception to final usage?
See, maybe if I may go.
Please.
Yeah. So, in alcove industry, there are restrictions.
Correct.
For use of QR codes, right? And creating digital passports.
Sure.
It is not allowed by the
I
excise,
see.
state
Okay.
excise.
Okay.
So what we have done is we have recently done an unlocking with the West Bengal excise. They have been a little more technology forward and more lenient in terms of their thinking. So we have unlocked it and we have put so typically in an alcove bottle, you will see two kind of codes. One is a linear AN13 code, which you will see, which is a product barcode.
Correct.
And you will see a QR code on top of the excise label, which is sitting right on top of the bottle. Government doesn't allow any other QR code apart from that, right? It doesn't allow the QR code because it feels that alcove being a prohibition material, a company, a brand would tend to promote through the QR code.
Yep.
But with West Bengal government's unlock, they have been the first country, and Diageo have been the first organization to go ahead and launch the third QR code, which is opened up to the consumer. So consumer can actually, although it is not used for the tracking and tracing of return of bottle,
Yep.
but it is used for tracking and tracing of the authentication of the bottle for its genuineness, and also your overall supply chain tracking that this bottle, any bottle, with that unique signature on the QR code, one can track exactly where that bottle is moving in the supply chain, right?
Nice.
From manufacturer till the consumer picks it up from a retail point.
Nice.
Right? Which actually helps us prevent counterfeiting, and it also helps us a lot of loss of bottles, breakage of bottles in the market, which eventually ensures that your loss of high energy, I think Dr. Saha talked about glass bottle, which is one of the highest energy footprint packaging material. It helps us to actually bring these bottles back into the system to be reused, washed and reused for the next lot of packing.
Correct.
So this, while this is built for brand protection, this also has a leg for the sustainable action of bringing these bottles back into the system.
Correct.
And reusing it, which gives you the least carbon footprint container in this world.
Nice. It's a good way to map things.
Yeah.
Would you want to add something, Geetal? Yeah.
No, I think on similar lines. So definitely having a digital passport is the need of the hour, and the innovation teams are exploring on it how we can efficiently include it and not just confuse the consumers as to having multiple information in one. So I think it takes the complete supply chain into the picture because putting it the GS1 index and getting together with the converters and ingredients and everything together, it takes a lot of combined effort.
Right.
So collaboration, I think, is the key here, and we are
Right.
definitely exploring.
Yeah, I mean, I think the aim ultimately is to make the system less opaque, less chaotic, less sort of, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Riddhi, one sort of question for you. I know pharma has stringent sort of, policies, regulations. I know the kind of audits that you do with some of your packaging partners. So we have some of the suppliers in the room, but any one thing that you have on your wish list that, as a, I mean, not just to represent Glenmark, but generally as a pharma player, one thing that you think packaging suppliers or packaging partners can contribute, one sort of thing. That's a question I think I'll ask each of you because I think that might be a valuable input for them. Yes.
Yeah, I would like to have a more collaboration of supplier with the stakeholders.
Okay.
Knowing exactly realistic approach in availability of the materials.
Right.
Then, collaboration for the R&D trials at both the end, supplier and the stakeholders, that is as a customer. And more approach towards GIT material.
Right. Crucial. Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right. Right. Sanjay?
Yeah, I think for the brand owners like us, packaging partners, they run the nursery of all the ideas, right?
that's true.
While we can think of ideas, but the eventual, maturation and eventual curation of these ideas happen there. So I think their role in the eventual execution of packaging for any brand, is extremely important. I think they should, the request to them is to stay focused on innovation and capabilities, not only add capacities and scale. While that is important, I think it's also very important to have them continuously build on capabilities, new capabilities, on cutting edge capabilities, as well as focus on innovation, which will really help eventually bring new and differentiated packaging to provide more unique experience to the consumers.
Sure. Abhishek? Yeah. I know you work very closely with some of your converters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these packs would have not been possible
Without,
if we don't
yeah.
have the converters like the one that we have.
Sure.
And I think most of them are continuously investing in a lot of R&Ds, but there is a long journey to go ahead. Apart from it, I think people are also using blockchains currently to track and trace the whole value chain in the system, which not only track and trace but also identifies the loophole and also give an opportunity for innovation in the system. So I think we cannot exceed into packaging or excel into packaging until without our converters.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
I think everybody's covered most of it, but one last piece which I think is also important for us as brand owners and converters is definitely we work collaboratively like we work internally, also externally with our ecosystem. And what is important for us to understand is when we look at the complete ecosystem, the brand owners, the converters, the consumers, the customers, all of it, the packaging that we need to bring in, the innovations that we need to bring in should be impactful and choiceful. Not just that we have a regulation or only because we have to do this, we are doing it, but it should make sense for everybody in the supply chain. And definitely our mother nature, for sure.
Correct. I think what I'm getting a sense of is that there is a certain extent of over-engineering in packaging, which probably we can take a relook at. We come to the round 3, which is the final bit of this puzzle. This idea is to cover as much territory with all of them. These are topics that come up in most sort of discussions. So I'll start off with you, Geetal, and so basically the format is 5-6 questions and then options for each of them. So this applies to all four, and it goes to show how quick-witted and sharp.
And these are individual opinions and not
That's
the
right, that's
companies.
right. They're not, yeah, I won't take you to court, don't worry, yes. So the first one, the 3 Rs, reduce, reuse, recycle, familiar mantra, but sharp disagreements over what to prioritize. You agree, you disagree. Industry forums such as PACNEX should discuss and try to resolve this. And then the 4th R, rethink.
Yeah, I think all four are important because for every kind of product, the bucket can be different. And we should explore it basis what kind of, say for example, for Neutrogena refill was the best fit, but it may not be the best fit for a tampon, or it may not be a best fit for some other sanitary napkin kind of application. So it's, I would say all 4 Rs are important. What we need to do is we need to be choiceful where which R needs to be implemented. And yes, definitely PACNEX, this is an amazing forum and it should be discussed because sometimes it so happens that in our everyday we get so caught up in our regular discussions that having these kind of discussions bring to light other topics as well.
Got it. Second one is greenwashing. Abhishek, this one's for you. Today, the greenwashing economy, and there's a sort of ruling about this, is opaque, fragmented, and there are too many vested interests. Agree, disagree. Everyone does greenwashing, number one. Others do greenwashing. It's 50-50 in India. Whitewashing is worse than greenwashing.
I think it's a tough one. I think, what was the second option?
Others do greenwashing.
No, I think most of the people in India are doing greenwashing. I'll stick my answer to that.
Ji.
And it is happening, and it's contributing and impacting to the environment. And I think currently the industry doesn't also have a resolution to it. What if not greenwashing? Then what next we should have, right? So I think until and unless we have a solution for greenwashing, it's something that
It's
we'll have to
tough.
cope up with.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Thank you.
Right. Sanjay, for you, what policies, incentives are most important? Because every day we hear of, a new sort of headline in the business newspapers particularly. So what policies, incentives are most important in order to drive greater adoption of sustainable packaging solution? Listen to BIS, listen to FSSAI, listen to EPR, something else.
Okay, this is again a tough one. I think I need to, be diplomatic in the answer because I might end up finding people from FSSI, BIS in this group and from other government segments. But I think, see, the policies should continuously incentivize the progress in this direction. See, there is a general resistance to change because any sustainable alternative so far, the perception is if you do this, you will add to the cost. Eventually. So there has to be incentives, like the way electric vehicles are being promoted in the country. It has to be promoted in a very structured manner with inspiration from the European markets and the American markets where it has been happening for last 30, 40 years.
Yep.
We have heard of green dots, all these programs where government have come as a public government joint policies and joint investments in such promotions. I think that is very important. So you have to incentivize to eventually push the whole industry towards that kind of design thinking. That's one thing. I think policies from BIS, FSSI, they're all very important because one cannot do without the other.
Yep.
We have seen in case of the last big thing that has happened is the allowance of RPET, recycled plastic in use of food contact, which was not allowed in India, which was allowed. And I think is the policies of both BIS and FIS put together eventually enabled the business or the corporates to go ahead and implement that.
Sure.
I think both would be equally important.
Right. One of the things we heard, just a quick follow-up is कि हिंदुस्तान में खाली डंडा चलता है, regulations जितना भी करो. Would that broadly be true? We've seen a little bit of that with single-use plastic as well, right?
Yeah.
Again, putting you on a spot, sorry.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Riddhi, last one for you. How can packaging leaders such as us ensure our industry keeps pace, greater transparency so that the tech jargons and everything gets minimized, clean, clear labels, backwards traceability, what Abhishek was talking about, digitalization and sort of intelligent digitalization. Yeah.
Yeah, digitalization is now a new norm for the packaging industry.
Right.
And being in pharmaceutical, we are already aligned for the with the DGFT for
Yep.
a track and trace process.
Yep.
So as an end user, we should be vocal and local in some aspect. So digitalization is more
Is the
less
way to go.
important.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And one final question for all of you, we'll start off, sorry, again with Geetal, is priority for 2025. One thing that, we should all be doing, is it design packaging that meets both protection, sustainability goals, incentivize end consumers to participating in recycling programs, deploy digital technologies, Riddhi's already said that, and finally rethink packaging design. I don't think we have too many of the packaging design fraternity in the room, but yeah, following circular economy principles, etc. Yeah.
So, packaging is not a single step approach.
Correct.
And we take a multi-prolong approach for it. So, I think all 4, 5 are important.
Right.
And like I have been saying, it is for the team to decide on to what product, what kind of consumer experience we want to deliver. So it cannot be like, no, I just want to meet my sustainability goals and then hamper the consumer experience. It has to be all three because we have to comply with the regulations. And because Kenvue has the Healthy Lives mission commitments, it is definitely aligning towards it and progressing towards it, keeping everything in line.
Right, right. Abhishek? Yeah.
It's same, all of them, because to have a great consumer experience, all of them are important. You cannot compromise on the food safety and give a recyclable pack, or you cannot just give a recyclable pack and compromise on the strength of the pack. All of them are equally important, and especially the consumer awareness that could be created through the pack is something that we have been seeing most of the companies focusing on through the packaging right now, and they are leveraging technology also for it.
Sure.
So I think all 5 are important.
Yeah. Thank you, Abhishek. Yeah. Sanjay?
Right. I think for 2025 onwards, I think till 2030,
Yep.
that's a landmark year for us. That completes the 10 years of run from 2020 and 21 till 2030. So I think what we would prioritize is a balanced approach. We should not tilt on any one side of packaging. It cannot be reckless. On one hand, it also cannot be so sustainable that it becomes economically, commercially unfeasible. So I think balanced approach, wholesome approach is what we look forward to in the next 5 years, 2025 till 2030. And also I think the prioritization of the right, choosing the right priorities, what you would like to do now, what you would like to do going forward, what you would like to drop, what you would like to double down on.
Correct.
I think these are the two things which will be important, right balance and the right priority.
Makes sense. Yeah. Riddhi?
Yeah, next one, in 2025, we should be touch upon the 3 pillars of sustainability, like environmental, economic, that maintaining the circular economy, and the strategic sourcing.
Sure. Makes sense. Makes sense. Thank you. I think this was wonderful. 4 voices of sanity. Please thank all 4 of them. And special thanks to Sanjay and Abhishek for flying many air miles and getting to Mumbai. Thank you very much. And thank you, Packnex, for arranging this. Yeah. I'll just clear the table.
Can we have a huge round of applause for our moderator and our panelists for an insightful session here today? Thank you so much, everyone. Yes, please take your seats. Thank you. Okay, before we go ahead for a coffee break, we have Mr. Rajesh Kumar Gera here, and he'll be helping us take the recyclable pledge. So please stay tuned with us.
Good morning, friends. Before we disperse for coffee, I would like to solicit your support for taking a small recycling pledge. If each one of us can get up and raise their right hand, believe me, I will not say anything which you don't want to pledge. Yeah, all of us, front benchers and the last benchers too. Dr. Shah, thank you. So, a very small 1 minute pledge. It reminds me also, it will sensitize us to do recycling starting from our own homes. On this solemn PackNext platform, I pledge today to reduce, reuse and recycle all packaging materials. I will not litter nor allow others, including my spouse, to do so. It is in our quest for cleanliness and to leave behind a far more cleaner earth for the generation next. Have a good conference. Thank you for supporting me.
Thank you so much. Can we have a huge round of applause for him, everyone? And with that, it's time for a networking coffee break. Can I please request everyone to proceed towards the coffee? Please make sure you're back here in 20 minutes because we'll be starting our next panel discussion in 20 minutes. And I hope you at least share 2 of your business cards with everyone that you meet today. See you in 20 minutes. Thank you.